Was anybody born, and from the time the person was born, he knows how to drive a caterpillar? Good. But if you learn it, you will become good at it. Majority of skills that we have are learned. Selling is one of them. What we're going to learn today is one of the basic things you need to know about selling. Because if you have these basic principles in your mind at any time you're in front of people, you are going to know that immediately that you're dealing with the right person. The challenge you have is sometimes you go see how they talk, all these are lie down for ground. You don't know the one way belly they worry. The same way you see all people and you're talking to different people randomly. Who is the one who will actually purchase? You walk in, let's say you're in a bus. People are with you inside that bus. And you want to talk to people about selling. Who do you speak with? Is it the one wearing expensive clothes? Is it the one wearing short knicker, carrying a black bulletin bag? It's not written on the face who has money. It's not written on the face who will buy your product. It's not written on the face who will even listen to you. But as a salesman, you can actually find out. And quite easily too. And once you find out, you see, these are the questions. And this lecture today, the class we're going to have, or we already started, is going to show you how you can easily, when you walk into a gathering, by merely chatting up with people and asking a few questions, immediately you will zero in on the right person to speak to. So that you don't just be firing stray bullets, hoping that one of them will hit the right mark. You have to be deliberate in your actions. Remember, when we did the law of wasted what? Effort. The lion with only 25% of wings is the king of the jungle. Remember that? If you chase 10 animals, 7 times they will get away. Only succeeds 3 times. But yet it is the king of the jungle. What we're going to learn today, you walk into a room. Other sales people who are not in this class today, or who may not have had an idea, may enter the room and get confused and not know who to speak with. But with what you're going to learn today, you're going to learn how to, with a few questions, identify the right person inside of a room full of people whom you should be talking to, who you have a higher probability of closing a deal with. Remember, there's something I tell you about sales. Identifying the prospect is really, really important. But when you identify that process, closing that deal is now on you. No other person can do it. It's not because you've identified the person, you then sure say don't close that. The fact that you've identified the person is a major step. Closing it is the rest of the 30%. So, let us move on. So, remember, what we're trying to look for today, how can you determine and ensure you're engaging with a person who is actually able to buy your product? And not just, some people listen to you, they don't get shishi for pocket. The more you talk, the more they listen. They're so interested. And you think you're going somewhere. At the end of the day, you now realize that you just knock on top rock. Some people, you are looking at it, can you make that decision? They don't make decision, they will not delete that, they will go here, they will go there. You talk go up, talk go down. Nothing is coming out of it. No matter how you push them, they're not deciding. The last set of people, you did waiting at the event. Let us see, just keep talking, let me be hearing. You can never get anywhere with them. How do you know these people? How do you know that they don't have any of these things in them? That is where this our principle comes in. The man. Who is the man? Can the man be a woman? Why sell to the man? And what makes the man a man? Who is the man? The man is the person who has money. I don't mind my bad handwriting. No. These are the three things. And this is where that word man comes from. A lot of people, when you've all heard me say man, that is where it comes from. The second question there, so you see, okay, back to the first one. Who is the man? The man is the person who has the money, who has the authority, who has the need. Second question there, can the man be a woman? And what's the answer?
Yes.
Yes. Because women too can also have money, they can have authority, they can have the need. There are some women that are so powerful. If you look at this Lagos, they own massive expanses of land in various areas, not just Lagos, but across Nigeria. And some even own abroad. There's one thing you can never go wrong with is real estate. Anywhere in the world, buy. Even Sambisa Forest, as you see it today, buy land there. Buy. You have opportunity to buy Sambisa Forest, buy. You see this world that's happening, it cannot be forever. Everything you're seeing happening, it's only for a time. It will pass. And when it passes, development will start. And you see, best time to take advantage of it when people are running by. Then the next question, why sell to the man? The answer is actually even obvious. Because he has a combination of all three. He has the money, he has the authority, he has the need. That's the reason you should be selling to the man. No other reason. He has the money to pay for your products. He has the authority to take that decision to buy your product. And then he has a need for your product. Because, you see, for you to make a sale, all three must be complete. All three of them in one person. All the three must be complete in one person. Look at all the people who have purchased property from you. First off, they have money. Abi? Yes? Yeah, ask.
Okay, so because last week I think I'll be asked that if you think that the man is someone that has the need, that has the authority and has the money. What about time that you meet that they actually do not have the money? Like probably maybe they have like just 1 million naira in their account, but they work like they earn money. And as a way also you encourage them to make a deposit and help them plan how they can, when their salary comes in or other work come, they can be paying for things. Like, but initially, it's not like they had that money and then they listen to you and then they take your advice. Would you say that for that client, the man is actually complete?
Yes.
How?
If you know that money, I won't pay for him.
He has the means.
You understand? See where you're getting it wrong. You're thinking that the person who is paying one off is the man, but you're not seeing the person paying instrumentally as the man. That person paying instrumentally is also the man. You understand? Because what matters is something in pockets. If your pocket not tell you true, you don't feel buy nothing. You don't fit.
Okay.
Do you understand? Then it just like you might have someone who says, "Oh, I want to purchase a Range Rover." You don't get money for Range Rover. Don't be the man now. Sell to and from now till next year, 10 years, till 100 years. So long as he don't get that money for Range Rover, he is not the man. But someone who has the money, even if the money is not complete all at once, but he knows that give me 3 months, I might have 50% of it. I might even have just 10% now.
Okay.
But I see a clear plan to getting the rest of the money and paying it off. Then I am still the man. Do you understand?
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether it pays once or it pays 100 times or even 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times. He is the man because he is paying. He has money to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So all three must be present in one person. Then that is the man. But do you know something else? This question brings something else to my mind. I can be here, and let us say, Madam here is my wife, for example. I have the money, I have the need, but because she is my wife, if I buy that land without her permission, I don't rest for house. You see, I don't have all three. I don't know if you guys are with me. I don't have all the three things that I needed. I have my money, I have the need, but that authority, if I want peace of mind for house, I must go and get authority from her. And you're trying to sell to me. What I will do is, after I hear all the nice stories and I really want it, I'll just let you know. I have to discuss with my wife. And I always say something to realtors. Whenever you hear somebody hesitate, ask them, is there someone you'd like to bounce this idea off of? Is there someone you'd like to discuss to hear an opinion? That person can say, oh, my wife, oh, my mother, oh, my brother, my sister, my friend. If it is possible, probe further and get the contact details of that person. Because I might get to her, and as I'm explaining to her, I may not explain it the way you explained it to me to make it exciting for me to want to buy. But if you are nice, remember I tell you, sales is all about, nice questions, probing questions, you ask things in a nice way. I do all that nicely, and at the end of the day, I now give you her number and you call her. Oh, madam, I'm calling you. I got your number from your husband, and I want to, there's something that we were discussing. And he thought I should run it by you to get your opinion on it. Do you understand? And she now says, okay. After she's done sure who you are and why you're calling. Okay, shoot, I'm listening. You now begin to sell to her. And if you convince her, your job is done. Even if me I want delay, that she will make sure saying, I buy that thing. I don't know if you get what I mean. You see, the three things were not present in me. Yet the job was done. Why? Because in this case, the man now is two people. Same thing happens in offices, especially in offices. The corporate world is where you find, a lot of people where they are talking, and you have those that will say, okay, let us determine what we need in a company. You have those that will determine, maybe like people like those in admin or something. They will say, okay, like Anchor has now, someone in admin will now say, the way space our staff has, the number of staff is increased. You see, this floor now is no longer able to accommodate us. Are you with me? I'm giving you how it happens in companies now. This floor is because in any new staff that comes in, it's admin's job to get them a desk and a chair to sit on and give them their allocate office space to them. So in the corporate world, it's a department like admin that will determine the need. And after they determine the need, that this alcohol has our number of staff not too many. This place is no longer conducive. We're almost having two people sharing one desk, which is not ideal for an office. We need to expand. So therefore, what do? We need to purchase a place and rent our own building. They determine the need, Abby. The next place to go to, you go for the money. Accounts. It's accounts department now of Anchor Heights that will not determine that with our book, looking into our books now and our cash flow, we have enough money to actually purchase a land and build an office structure. Do you see where the money come from? And then ultimately, where will the authority come from? From the CEO, goes without saying. Do you understand now? Do you see? In as much as the CEO can override every person, but the CEO will not even know. He may not know there is a need for a new office building because he may be so busy. And then he may not know about how much is, he has an idea, yeah, we're making sales. But for every CEO, for you to know how much you're making, you have to call people in accounts or finance and say, what's our cash flow like? Now, then we'll tell you, because they have analysis they do regularly. Oh, yes, we're making money, but we don't really have money, we're not liquid. Yes, we're making money, we have some things we are offsetting. I don't know if you guys are with me. So in the corporate world now, I've shown you how the man is trained at the minimum 3 departments. I hope that's okay now. Good. And then I think we've answered one. Which one have we answered? We've answered 1, 2, and have we answered 3? Yes, we have answered 3. And now, what makes a man a man? From what I've explained, it's very, very clear. What makes a man is ability to see the need for a product, ability to take a decision. That's authority. And lastly, ability to pay for that product. That's what makes a man a man. Money. Money is the current medium of exchange in forms of coins and bank notes. The money we are talking in this our business now. We're not now talking about fixed deposit, treasury bills. Those has no effect on our business right now. In our business, the person who has money, the person who has cash to pay. If you're not paying, or if you're not able to use that whatever it is you have to make payment, then you don't get money for us. You're not the man to us. Even if Dangote, you go to Dangote to sell land to him, and he tells you, oh, I am not liquid, then he's not the man. But we know he's a wealthy man. But he's unable to pay for your product, then he's not the man. The man is the one who has money to pay for your product that you're selling. So when you're qualifying people, do not say because this person is rich, he's automatically the man. No. Money makes the world go round. Without money, you can only wish when awake and dream when asleep. Yet all you're entitled to are wishes and dreams. Ownership of money allows us to acquire the things we need in life to make life better. It therefore follows that a person who has money is a natural target for salesmen as against one without money. As a salesperson, you, as a matter of importance, need to sniff out people who have money. And I'll tell you why. Somebody might have money today, it may not have the authority, and he may not have the need, but you have noticed that he has the money. Stay on that person's trail. Keep that person in view. Sooner or later, the other two will come in. In fact, the fact that somebody has money and you're speaking with the person, you can by yourself create or bring to the knowledge of that person the importance of having land. You create the need within the person, and then the person can actually act on the authority they already have. I don't know if that makes sense to you. There is need for you to stay. Once you notice a person has money, stay around that person. That is on money. A, authority. the power to influence or command thought, opinion, or behavior. The power or right to give orders, make decisions, and enforce obedience. Authority and power. That's the way it is. Again, when you come to organizations, the CEO embodies the organization. Just like we have Jerry over here. Anything Jerry tells you, you know that's the position of Anchor Heights. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean. That's authority. Again, the person who has money decides what he wants to do with his money. So when you're trying to sell to people, you need to find someone who has authority. But you can know whether you have money with authority. There's a way you put your product, you keep talking to somebody about what you're trying to sell to them. You can either sense it or you get it out of them. How? You ask the right questions. You know, I always say open-ended questions do things for salespeople. Sometimes you throw a question. Don't ask people, your prospects, yes or no answers until you're about to close the deal. Ask them open-ended questions. Open-ended questions will encourage them to speak about what you're trying to sell to them, about their experiences in the past with other salesmen, other products, about themselves. And the more they tell you, the more you know. And the more you know, is it knowledge when applied rightly is power. You know the saying, knowledge is power. Knowledge not be power anything. Oh yes, knowledge is not power. You know the knowledge not be power. It's only knowledge when applied correctly that is power. You might know how to make money, but you do nothing about it. Do you have power? You're weak. But the person who actually applies that knowledge, that's a powerful person. All these things I'm talking about in every class. People know about it, but they do nothing. You're still weak as weak before. Nothing changed. But for the people who actually apply it, those are the ones that will have the power. And that's the way it is in the world. You have to apply what you know. A salesman should seek out a person in their position to take decisions, else it will amount to a waste of time and resources. What are you looking for? You're trying to get the 3 ingredients necessary to close a deal. You find the person who has authority. And how do you find the person? Probing questions. Asking open-ended questions. Asking other people around. Asking the person about themselves. Asking them how they feel about what you're trying to sell to them. Those are the things, when they speak, you begin to, and remember, I taught listening as a class. The art, listening is actually an art. The art of listening. When you listen, ask them questions and listen, you will hear. And I say this thing to you. Most times you meet a prospect first time, the minute you talk about what you want to sell, that is when they will tell you their actual biases that they have against that thing you're trying to sell. The first time, in the first discussion, remember at that point you're still trying to introduce the product to them. They will tell you, I don't like Lagos, all this demolition they do. You haven't even talked about your product too. You just mentioned, I have land in Ekpe, Lagos, Ekpe again, we know document no that side. You haven't, but majority of us, because we are eager to pour down what we already have in our head, we don't pick those things. We miss that time. But if you listen, and that's why I always say, approach every meeting with pen and paper. The man tells you, I don't like Lagos. Note it, I don't like Lagos. Ekpe without paper. He says Ekpe without papers. those things you will say that time. Eventually, you use eagerness to continue to tell him about your land. He says, okay, I'm listening. You now begin to talk. When you're done, he will not be engaging you on other things. He won't say anything about Lagos or about the way again. So if you are not a good or experienced or smart salesperson, you will just begin from that point. Whereas the major objections that you will face, he has already highlighted them and listed them out to you at the beginning, even before you told him about your product. I don't know if I'm making sense to you guys. But if you take note of it, scribble. Always go to a meeting with pen and paper. Scribble things. It might sound or seem like those things are not necessary, but guess what? The human brain is a super. There is no computer that can be invented that will beat the human brain. And then thirdly, we're talking about N. N is for need. What is need? When you require something because it is essential or very important and not just desire. Need and want, are they the same? What's the difference between need and want? Yes, please.
We can do without one.
Okay.
We can actually live without one.
Okay.
But we need something that requires that thing must have a space in us.
Okay.
That we need to place it with.
Okay.
So like one, I want to get message.
Okay.
For my
Okay. Oh.
I don't have the power. I don't have the financial ability. But I need food today. So I must crave for that food.
Okay.
Yes. I can do without that message. But I can't do without food, but I'd like food for a while.
Okay. In fact, to put it in better perspective, you might want a shawarma. Your body needs food. The food you might be something as simple as garri and soup. So, synonyms of need: require, necessity, obligation, compel, want. This one's not supposed to be here. Exigency, requisite, prerequisite. Look at the difference in these two: essential and demand, but different in requisite and prerequisite. Yeah, what is requisite and then what's prerequisite?
Requisite. There's a requisite. What is necessary? But want to make it that thing to be necessary as prerequisite.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me give you an example. For you to get admission into a Nigerian university, you have to write JAMB, right? JAMB is requisite for you to get admission. But before you write JAMB, what should you have done? You should have WAEC or NECO, abi? So WAEC or NECO is actually a prerequisite for you to write JAMB. Because when you're buying the form, they will ask you your scores for all these things. I don't know if that makes sense now. Let me now take it a step further. You see that JAMB also is a prerequisite for you to get into university.
The other step.
The other step, when and instead it's like that. Anything that is requisite can also be a prerequisite. That's the way it works. So, a salesman should seek out persons who are in need of their product. Else, selling becomes tedious and really difficult. You want to sell. That thing you want to sell, you need to seek out persons who are in need of it. If I have no need for a land in Lagos, and you decide to sell land to me or a property in Lagos, not from now till next year, I will buy. I might have the money, I might have the authority. But because I see it and I say I have no need for land in Lagos, anything where you talk, it doesn't work. you understand? So, you must be speaking to somebody who is in need of your product. And how do you determine this, whether the person is in need of your product? You ask the person questions. Questions about what you're selling. How do you feel about owning land in Lagos? How do you even feel about owning land at all? Do you know there are some people who don't want to own land? I have a client in the US. He bought a house and he's so upset. His wife made him buy it. The man, one of the time we were talking, told me that, look, I have absolutely no need for land in Nigeria. I have no need for it, but my wife insists that we buy this. Do you understand? You see that man? Anything they tell him, walk. Because for him, there's no need for it. For him, he doesn't want to return to this country anymore. But his wife tells him, you see that house? We must buy it. If nobody can't sleep for us, man, see now. Qualifying the prospects to man. How do you qualify a prospect? You see, you meet people freshly. How do you determine whether they have the money or the authority or the need? How? This is the crux of the matter that we have today. Research your leads. Anytime you meet people, if you want to know about them, let me tell you, it's hard for you. You see, if you're meeting me for the first time and you have to sell to me and you haven't heard about me or you know nothing, absolutely nothing about me, how do you begin to sell to me? You know, it's hard. You don't know if I am triggered by certain kinds of conversations. You might say something and I get angry and fly off the handle. You don't know. And you'll be wondering, what did I do? What did I say? I'm only trying to sell to you. Well, you won't know. You won't have an idea that something you have said or something you have done, or maybe you are chewing gum when you got to me, and maybe I hate people chewing gum. I don't know if you guys understand. There's some kind of people have little things that tick them off. You might, maybe I hate the color yellow. And you come for a meeting with me, you want to sell to me and you're wearing yellow. It's your choice what you want to wear. And you are not aware that I don't like yellow. But the fact that you came to that meeting with yellow, you don't say, well, I'm not anything. You understand? And there's something you're not even aware of, even while you're in that meeting, you still don't know why the reason why I'm upset with you. For you, I'm trying to sell to him. He's reacting in a weird way. Things are not just working. But you don't know I don't like color yellow. I don't know if you guys understand me. I'm not saying it must be a color or it must be something, but you don't know who you're speaking to. How do you get around it? Research. Do research on the person. Look, when you want to sell to somebody, the minute you get the person's name, go and do a bit of research. That research gives you an edge. Find out if the person is working in an office, what's his current job title. Previous workplace information, time with the company, hobbies, interests, family information. Anything you can find. So that when you approach that person, you have a little knowledge about that person or what that person may be able to do to you or for you. That's how it works. Do your research. Go to Google. Google is a good place. Social media platforms. Google search is already here. LinkedIn, company website, Facebook, Instagram, all those things. If you want to know, in fact, a lot of people, their lives are on social media. It's recently that people have reduced what they post on social media because of insecurity in the country. But the problem, now I don't even understand why they fear to post on social media, because even the kidnappers, if you offer them yourself, they don't carry you because shishi you don't get.
It's still a hide for social media. Nobody will say what security reason. Never chop. Person, if they go kidnap the person, the opportunity for her to chop 3 square meals or even 1 square, you will call the do like say it's in VIP. But nobody knows that. Hide all you can hide because nobody know where they carry from mine.
Social media, go there, you get information about who you want. Brand mentions, you see some people, when there are some articles you read, some things you read about, you see people's names. They write about them, what they have done, what they're doing. Those are the sort of information you need. And then lastly, ask someone. You might be trying to have a meeting with the MD, but you never can tell. The person seated next to you might just know something about the MD. Every time you come to the office, MD is not available. Every time you come, MD is not available. But if you don't interact with people, but you can simply just discuss with someone. But MD hangs out at social joint every evening now. He likes to come down there, maybe play snooker, sit down with his friends. And that's an even informal place where you can easily walk up to him. As against the office where you come to, you must fill form, whether it's in the office or not. And there he can stay in the office and say, oh, I am not available. And they'll tell you he's not available. So that's number one. When you want to qualify how to determine who you should be talking to, ask. Research your leads. When you do research, if you do research and that research will tell you that this person is MD CEO of so and so company, automatically you know that I should be talking to this person. I mean, this person is the chief financial officer in this company. You know that's where you understand. The person is in charge of the money in the company. You will automatically know who you should be speaking with. Remember I told you, you need to qualify your prospects to be the man. Then you'll find out that that's one man who has been dressing better than even the CEO, who has been giving you all the attention, and who is big, he chop up like Angelo now, and I will just see him and I will rush, no losing nothing in the pocket. Do you understand? You see that kind of thing? There are certain people, you see them, you think that they are the ones. You're speaking with them, you're focusing on them. You don't know you're wasting your time. By doing that research, you will automatically know who is who. That research is not limited. Find out. That's why it starts with find out. You also go to Google, you go to social media, you look for articles and newspapers. And then you ask someone. When you ask someone to tell you, see that guy, go and talk to him. That guy has money. That guy is doing things. He's making things happen. So go and talk to him. You stand a better chance of selling to that person. You see, when you do all these things, that's the first way you will know who is the man. And you first of all, that will tell you that person has money, authority, and a need. Number two, find a hook. Find a hook. What do we know about hooks? Hook that they take and catch fish. Correct. And then again, some people will use hook a baby. Yes, now. What kind of hook? Now money now, wait till they get the hook now. You hook a baby. Yes, now. It's all about baiting. Now, but in sales, you see, sales hooks are bits of information that can help you create relevant and meaningful introductory sales messages. You see that? It should be attention grabbing, it should be strong, and it should be impactful. Because if you don't have your prospects' attention, how do you influence them? I'll give you an example. I want to get straight to the point and share. You ask the question, does the idea of increasing your revenue by X% sound appealing to you. Those are hooks. They are hooks. Do you understand the concept of hooks? Okay, yes, sir.
To get the attention of the particular individual we are targeting or focusing on, and also you said it should be something very brief. It should not be a lengthy thing. It should not be that thing we talk and the person even walk away.
Exactly.
It should grab his attention.
Yeah, that's what a hook does. That's why we call it a hook. Remember, okay, yes, someone else has something to say.
A hook can, when you use a hook in talking to it, when you approach someone, you use a hook, it tends to, especially when you speak more, if you've done your research, you'll be able to know what this person likes, what they don't like, their pain point, their problem, or what they desire. So if you use that as a bait in approaching them, it will definitely give you 100% attention, and you should not take that attention for granted because it's limited. They want to see if whatever you have to say is valuable. If it's not valuable enough to worth their time, they move on.
Exactly. Very correct. That's it. You see this sales hook? A lot of sales people don't know about it. A lot of people don't know about it. Sales hooks are things you use to grab people. Do you know when you... I've talked about something. There's a concept in sales I have talked about in class before. And that thing is... What is this? Elevator pitch. Do we know what it is? Basically, elevator pitch is the selling you do inside the elevator. Abi? He said no. It's simply the selling you do inside an elevator. Now the elevator pitch now. So if you want to talk to person in fight and come where the elevator day. Does that not make sense? That's elevator pitch now. I want sell to you now. Now I say, okay, please, there's an elevator on that building across the road. I beg, come, let's go. Then when we get to that elevator, I will now tell you what I want to sell to you. That's elevator pitch now, not be so. You don't think so? Okay. But that is, literally, that's what it is. But I'll explain it better. Yes, please. Oh, sorry.
Elevator pitch is a pitch that you can deliver between 30 seconds to minutes.
Say it again, I love that.
An elevator pitch is a speech you can deliver between 30 seconds to a minute.
Spot on. Spot on. Do you understand? And you guys know why she's correct. No, okay, yes, sir.
I like the teaching, I like the message, but I want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
As a salesperson, a professional one, and we have been hearing about the governor of Lagos State, and if only I can get this man, and you know he has a lot of influences right and there, but one day, we jam the man in an elevator. What can you tell me?
What you tell him depends on what you want.
As a leader, because you can get influence from him. The bottom line is that if behind this man, you've been finding a way to see him, he's not in the meeting, he's in the meeting.
You tell him what you have in mind, the reason you will be wanting to see him.
All right.
Yes, now, for you to have been looking for him, there's a reason. Jonathan, there's a reason you've been looking for him. Let me tell you guys something. When Fashola was governor, then I was newly transferred from Port Harcourt to Lagos. Then I was still in the corporate world. One day I went to this LCC, opposite Chevron. You know, it has a plank. You walk along the gangway. It's called gangway. So I was walking, had gone inside, sat down, looking at a few of the animals that came out. It was afternoon that came out there, And while I was coming back, and that thing is narrow, but there is space enough for you and someone who pass side by side. If people walk like this, you actually will not pass. You have to be on the side, person will pass. Do you know what I saw? I saw one guy wearing suits. He was just walking towards me. And me, it was on a Sunday that day. And I was thinking in my head. As I was coming, the man was coming. It was when he was close to me, I now realized that this man, there was something he's carrying in front of him. And it was a gun, a rifle. This SSS kind of gun, that shot. Whether a machine gun or those things. But that was what he had. That one passed me. And I wondered, the people walking here with hanging guns like that, I continued to move. After a little while, I saw another one. That one now didn't say anything, but he was signaling, he was waving like this. Me, I was like, I didn't understand. You're doing like this for me, that as you turn back and go, because you have a gun. I didn't understand. Me, I didn't move. I just continued walking towards him. If you want me to turn back, say something to me as to why I should turn back, and I will. Because you don't argue with someone with a gun. But you were just... Me, I continued walking towards him. So when he was coming, he now stood, and I got to where he was, and I stood. And I was looking at him. I was waiting. The way you look at someone like, say something. And after a little while, he passed me too. Yeah, and I continued. Do you know, I saw a third one again. By this time, I'm like, what's going on here? And this place is like inside bush. I said, no, Mark, come on here before this people now come, we live inside here. And I just was like, okay, maybe I should hurry up and get out of this environment. That was when I now, behind him, I now saw other people. I saw that, okay, people were coming. Immediately after him, there was one man wearing this senator kind of attire. And then after that man was Fashola. So at that point, I now realized why they were there. They were his security team. I said, okay, now people will get Lagos with this. Okay, then I now stood aside for them because that gangway had, it's just really a proper gangway with handrails on both sides. So you can't step down, you must be there. They will, okay, so I just stop, okay, let them pass and I'll continue. There were not many of them, there were just a few of them. So that one passed, the man with the senator passed. Then Fashola was passing. Good afternoon, Mr. Governor. Good afternoon, he shook my hand. And he was like, what are you doing here? I said, well, I come here to relax. But with your entourage, it's not going to be a very nice place to relax, isn't it? And the man, he laughed. And he was like, that's nice. Not a lot of people can make a joke at a governor. That's what he said. And he was like, okay, walk with me a little. Just a little. And he now said, okay, we'll see later. And later we actually saw. But it now happened that the scene later was at a party. Yeah, the scene later was at a party. It wasn't, when you have a party, political people and all of that. But, then I was in the corporate world, I wasn't a salesman. So I really didn't need anything from government. They were paying me well, so everything did all right. So, but that's some other things, but not for now. So if you are going to meet a person like a governor, the thing that had been in your mind that made you go to a Hausa and you couldn't see him, you could ask somebody about him. If they tell you he's going to attend a party, you will go to that party to see him. And you look, in a party is an informal event. In as much as the security are there, but sometimes you can actually come side by side, close enough, that you could say what you wish to say to him. It depends on what ails you at the moment. What they need you have, then you let them know. And again, in the past, it used to be, you see people in power, you speak to them. But I do not know about now. It still happens, but not a lot anymore. Not a lot anymore, because nowadays you talk to politicians, it's water on stone. It's water on stone these days. So let's go back. We're talking about books. The sales, okay, yes. Well, I was talking about the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch, if, normally, the principle of elevator pitch came out when the elevator comes. For you to take a ride in the elevator, takes anywhere between 30 seconds to a few minutes, depending on how tall the building is. The idea is, you've been looking to see, let us say he's the CEO of a company. I've been trying to see him. I go, I fill the appointment form. There are usually people before me, a lot of things happen. I don't get to see him. But I do know that he comes to work at, let us say, 8 a.m. on the dot. And when he comes, he gets, because everybody rides in an elevator to get to their office. Do you understand? So, what I can do, if I want to see him, is I look for that time he normally comes to work. Stand by the elevator bank. Nobody can tell you not to stand there. It's open to everyone. Remember, you're picking a venue you know he must come to. Then when he arrives, even if he has security or aides or anything, when he enters the elevator, you can enter. Nobody will tell you not to enter. Then he gets there, he enters that elevator, and I enter too. These people enter. While we're in that elevator, I could say, "Good morning, sir." He could answer me. And then, "Sir, I have a land at the way, and I think, knowing a few things about you, you might be interested in. How would you like to be owner of, that beautiful piece of Ekpe?" If he has been looking for land in Ekpe, or it's something he is interested in, at that moment he will say to me, "Oh, nice. And who are you?" Because when you're doing an elevator pitch, you have to, in that few seconds, introduce yourself. You have to introduce yourself, talk about what you want, who you are, so that you cut off all those things. Because that time of, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, I'm this," back and forth, you lose it. He's reached his floor. He's a busy man. He has no time. So once I say, "Good morning, sir. My name is Coach Angelo. I work with Anchor Heights Limited. We're a real estate company, and we have beautiful land at the bed that I know you'll be interested in. You love polo. They're going to have polo in that place. You love to probably go for boat rides. There'll be boat rides at that particular place in Ekpe. How would you like to own it, sir? I could tell you more." If it's something he's interested in. You see, within that, my first speech, I've not given him a chance to ask me anything. I've introduced myself, told him what I want, talked to him about my property, and asked what he thinks about it. If he's interested, by the time he wants to speak, he's reached his floor, the door open. "Come with me, young man." I followed him. I need appointment again. Do you see what an elevator pitch does? In that 30 seconds to 1 minute, as she said, you do all of that. But guess what? Before you can do elevator pitch, one of the solid ways is you do research. You find out when it's going to be there. But guess what? There are sometimes. That's why as a salesman, you also need to be prepared. Sometimes you're not even prepared for it. You just got to the office by 8 a.m. because you want to see him on time. But from the appointment you have, it's 11 a.m. they've given you. And you're there by 8 a.m. You are there by the elevator banks. You have no idea that he comes in at that time. And then the person you're looking for shows up. While he's in that elevator, you enter with him and you do your elevator pitch. By the time he gets up there, he might either tell you, "Come with me right away," which is usually what they would do. Because you're there present, they're there present. You've said something that they like. You now walk into the office with him. Those people where they tell you, say, "You know, fix your guy," where they bounce you up and down. You go that time, you go do them. If you go to that one, the next way you got, they don't let you see him. So he takes you straight up into his office. All the bottlenecks you bypassed. And then you sit in his office while, before he even settles in to do anything. And as you're working with him, you're telling him more. And he's getting interested. And at the end of the day, you've engaged him enough to collect his contacts and everything, and probably even an appointment for inspection. Do you understand? So that is an elevator pitch is one powerful way salesman or salesmen make an impact. So don't ever play with elevator pitches. So here, find a hook. A sales hook, bits of information that can help you create meaningful and relevant introductory sales messages. It should be attention grabbing, it should be strong, and it should be impactful. But if you don't have your prospect's attention, how do you influence them? But now, do you understand the aspect of sales hooks? Is it clear now?
Yes.
I'll give you examples. Good. Cut to chase. I defend that one. Ask a question. Does the idea of increasing your revenue by X% sound appealing to you? Reference a shared connection. Oh, I saw your LinkedIn post talking about how Mr. X idea has influenced your decision making. Find a talking point. Do you understand? Find a talking point. You see, when you go to social media and you see somebody's post, you know a bit about the person's mindset.
Like, maybe there was a, let us say something, let's say an event happened. An event happened. Let us say, okay, good. This recent beauty pageant that Miss Universe at Chidimao, our South African sister won. Nigerian and South African she is, because where your papa from, and there you from too. Then where you're born, you also have natural, rights as a citizen there. So let us say somebody comments. I especially love how, they use different sceneries and different locations for this particular pageant. That tells you that that person has an appreciation for beautiful landscape. If someone comments about various locations they used for the pageant.
When you're going to approach such a person, be sure to say something in that regard about the beauty of locations. Then you have hit somewhere that person finds exciting. And from there, a conversation starts. How do you start a conversation in a bus if you're sitting next to someone? I've been one of those who say, if they don't talk to me, I know the answer. And they fear come. Yes, sir. By complimenting the person. Remember, when the class was about to start, I asked, who is Coach Angelo? Somebody say, yes, Coach Angelo is that guy that likes big bonbon. Very correct definition. You understand? Somebody enters, a boss sits next to me. Madam, very correct. You don't have to go to be lewd, you understand? Hey, but madam, you look good. You smell nice. Compliment people. Like you said, when you compliment people, they feel good, And once they feel good, conversation strikes and flows. And do you know something funny? I have sold things from just starting conversations with people I don't know. I also go to places to watch football. Do you know there's this guy I used to watch football with at a particular bar. He seems uninterested in football, and he comes there a lot, but he wasn't ever interested in football. One particular day, it was kickboxing. You know kickboxing? Or this MMA fighting. Yes. This one at Israel, and this one is one very good at. That thing is a very rough sport. They are not only punching you, they are kicking you, they are slamming you, or judo, karate, everything. The aim is to kill, and they tell you. Not even if you're down, they don't leave you if you're down. No. Boxing is refined though. That one is anything goes. Anything goes. People that one day, that was what, it was time, it was not yet time for the football game. But I had time to go, so I just got there. He was there. We hadn't talked before. And the man was really excited by that particular thing. And I was like, oh, so you enjoy this thing a lot? Yeah, I love it too. So I noticed. Whenever it's football, I don't really like football. I'm not a football guy. But you see this MMA, you see boxing, You see, karate, you know, he likes all those kind of sports. We started talking, you know, and eventually it was like he also sees me too. That whenever I come and talk to this, I say, well, I'm a salesman, I'm a parrot by nature. He laughed. How can you describe yourself as a parrot? I said, look, this is what I do. I sell real estate. So if I don't talk, how will people know? I say, for instance, now if we are not talking, now that we're talking, I can tell you, you know, about things I have. He said, me, I don't have money. I said, well, at least if you don't have money, you can tell somebody to buy. I don't really, I said, anybody. You see how the conversation was? From that small talk, it just, and even me, the truth is, it was just a salesman in me walking, but I wasn't even, it wasn't my plan to do that. But we're just talking, and next thing you know, it's okay, that is my friend, that is my colleague. He's actually looking for land to buy. That's how I closed the deal. Through him, he didn't buy. The conversation went so well, he gave me a contact of the person who bought. Do you see how it works? Number 3, ask open-ended questions. Do you know open-ended questions? It encourages people to speak. It's either they're speaking about themselves and you're listening. Remember when we did the act of listening. Listen to what's being said and what's not being said. In fact, what's not being said is more important to you than what is actually being said. Body language. Questions that encourage your prospects to speak about themselves, about situations, and allows you access to the resources of their minds. Remember, just like what I talked about in the beginning, you're trying to sell land to somebody, and immediately you say, oh, sir, I have land for sale in Lagos. Lagos, demolition, you know, and you know, say, no, sir, this one is not at the mainland, on the center of the island, where the demolition is at Ekpe. Hey, even worse, Ekpe will not get a title document. But you say, but okay, I haven't told you about my land yet. Oh yeah, talk about your land. You listen. When you finish talking about your land, the man will no longer mention the demolitions in Lagos. He will no longer mention Ekpe does not have paper. He now start talking about what you have said. But if you're not astute, if you're not smart, if you're not keen in, you will not realize that if those two things he mentioned, the Lagos and demolition, and then the Ekpe and land title document, those things are issues for him. They are very big issues. But he mentioned them before you started. So you need to be able to go back and address those things after you have told him about your land in order for him to buy. So, what are your priorities in the next 2 quarters? Do you understand? When you ask someone, what are your priorities in the next 2 quarters? That means, okay, now December is coming close. Before the end of this year, have you achieved all you wanted to achieve? Are there things you still want to achieve? You know, encourage someone to speak. And as you're speaking, you're keying into what you will latch onto to use for your sales process. I don't know if you understand. Now, they are the ones that are giving you material that you're going to use to close that deal. And that one is, how are you coping with this economic downturn? You say, okay, this present situation in the country, especially with what is going on in fuel, how are you coping, sir? I know it's not easy for anybody, but how is it going, man? The person, hey, in fact, if not woman, in fact, you don't say this one begin. Then you relax. As he say, in fact, make yourself come give that. You know, you don't give her the perfect fuel, say, carry on. Then she will begin to tell you all about it. And everything she's feeling and going through at the moment. And while she's saying these things, you are chipping in small questions, and she's giving, you know what you want to know. You say, now wow. Then imagine people who are even property owners. You say, like us, what we have suffered. When they started demolishing now, we even thought it would get to happen. I say, but if you have more than one, you can move to the other one now. The only one we get for Lagos. So you see how you're getting information. it, and you're encouraging. Now, on the night gist they go, but you're picking things that you need for sales. Are you guys getting what I'm trying to pass now? Number 4, you focus on value. When you're discussing with people, you're trying to find out if the person you're talking to is the man. Keep your focus on value. Keep your focus on value. Because it is value that you focus on that will help you to pinpoint who is the man. What does it mean to focus on value? What you can give to your prospect, which will make their job or life easier, more efficient, or more productive, or even more profitable. That's really what you're selling. To make your prospect realize that they want as well as need it. Somebody, let us say, stays close to Abraham Adesina Junction. Close to the junction. Daytime, the work the person is doing is stressful enough. Then you come home to relax because you're close to the junction. You're hearing all the horn, the shouting of conductors and landlords, and all the commotion is loudly coming to you in your house. If you find out that that person is living in that kind of environment and the person has any chance of affording to get something else, you will not bring the person and say, how would you like to stay in a place where there is serenity, where there's peace of mind, where there's quiet? So, number 1, if you're selling an ad automation platform, you could stress time saving it offers. The value here is efficiency. You see, you're selling an ad automation platform, a system that you prefill your information into the platform. When you want to do ad, you just click, you put a new product, and you click on ad. And the thing will, all those information it needs, you have pre-filled them. It will simply upload them and run the ad for you. Do you understand? What that does is efficiency. Because of you to take out, let's say 30 minutes to 1 hour to be filling the thing again, it just automatically auto-fills everything and runs the ad for you. So that helps you. The efficiency is what that system gives. Number 5, if you want to know who the man is how you handle objection. Have you ever been to a meeting with prospects? You see the way that these 4 lovely ladies are seated in front here. Maybe we're seated somewhere. I'm coming to try and sell. Let us say she's the one that actually invited me. And I'm here. But they're all seated together gisting, and I'm sitting with them. And I'm telling them about the land. Do you know, I've been focusing all my attention on her. She's asking me questions. Once in a while, the rest will chip in. I won't really know that she is not the one that wants to actually buy. She is the one, but all of them are there to, they're assessing me. They're judging me as they talk, they assess me, they put mark on me. Then finally, they now say, okay, we're satisfied. Bring your subscription form. I bring the form. Oh yeah, I give it to her. She takes that form and hands over to her friend. And I already know her name, and I see her friend put her own name on the form. And I'm like, I do not buy. I say, no, it's my friend that wanted to buy. Do you see? If you can handle objections very well, you see such situations like this I described, you will win. But if I cannot, they will go, and I will not know that she's not the actual one that actually wanted to buy. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean. So before you begin to sell, be sure you can handle objections. Think through all potential sales objections to your offer before you make the call, and have responses prepared so that you are not caught off guard. Someone comes at you, Lagos always demolition. You should have an answer. And what's the answer? Your answer shouldn't be a lie. Your answer, to the best of your ability, should be the truth. To the best of your knowledge, should always be the truth. People value truth, in as much as it's easy. Some people say, deceive them, just let them buy. it works for some people, but if you can deceive somebody once and they buy, they might want to come and buy more from you, and then they discover that you deceived them when you were selling that one to them. Will they come? Anywhere they hear you want to sell to another person and they know about it, what do you think will happen? They'll scuttle it, sink that ship, torpedo it. Make sure you know you've heard all their concerns. Back to the same thing. Whenever you're speaking to clients, you see this your ear. Make you open like antenna. The one that they take, they catch gossip, even if they whisper the thing for back. Make sure when you're sitting with your prospect, open your ears. Pick every little thing they're saying. And that's why I always advise, go into a meeting with pen and paper. Sometimes people will say things you might not they have time to respond to it immediately. But because you scribbled it down, and in the course of discussion, you now look through this. So at the beginning of this conversation, you talked about Ekpe and not having documents or title. You say you can't find CFOs and all of that, and there's a lot of Ekpe. You now take your time to explain it. Because it's actually true, but there's a reason why. And the reason is there for everybody to see. But some people, when people come to buy from you, they don't know. It's your job to educate them. You can educate them about how, just like I talked about the lands and titles. Educate them about lands and titles, and then they will see that, okay, there's a natural progression that it goes through before it begins to have such title. But that is not to say there is no CFO at Ekpe. There are plenty, and even governor's consent. But for a lot of it, it's still underdeveloped yet. And a place that is still bush, they don't do all those things for it. So when you explain it well, they now understand. And because you've given them knowledge about what they didn't know, most likely next time somebody comes to them with something, they will run it by you. It's your level of expertise, your ability to handle objections. I can see how that's a worry, but have you considered? You see, that person living at Abraham Adesanya and the traffic is bothering them. It's a worry for you, but have you considered moving to an area that is more serene than Abraham Adesanya Junction? Do you understand? And he says, is there such an area? Oh yes, there are. And you tell them. You already know, because from your problems, from your little questions, and from the gist one and all the night, you know the person's, you know some things about the person. So with that, you can say, oh, there's this estate at so and so place. It's off the road, not by the road. Because that person will not want to live again by the road again because of all the stress. Sometimes when commotion is happening, they might throw bottle, you go land inside their compound. Nigeria is easy for commotion to start anywhere, anytime. Do you understand? So, these are the things, because you've had a little chat, you throw that in there, and then you offer them some significant plus points that hopefully will take the balance back in your favor. Don't ever contradict your prospect to, I've said this in class many times, Abi. Whatever your prospect is saying, even if na lie, no time say na lie. Oh yes. And it's not because you're not admitting it's true, but do not say you are lying. Do not say you are wrong. There are ways to do it. Do you know why you shouldn't do it? You don't know how fragile that person's ego is. And then in conclusion, the ability of a salesman to seek out and or identify the man in any and every sales engagement is crucial to his rate of success in selling. Do you agree with that or not? Do you think that's correct?
It's correct, sir.
Failure to quickly identify the man can lead to severe waste of time and resources. And for a salesman, time is one of your most valuable resources. Oh yeah, time. Bear in mind that the man can sometimes be a woman. There's some people, fine, we'll have some feminists. But some people can be misogynist too. Some people, if they go to a place and they want to talk to people, I want to see the man of the house. There's nothing wrong in your seeing man of the house. But if you're there in your capacity to sell, and you think you can ride roughshod over the females there, remember, this man who they talk about actually is money, authority, and name. Woe betide you, let it be a man that seeks the buying of the woman there.